Madhuri Dixit resembles a fine wine. Say the 1994 first growth of Chateau Lafite Rothschild. Sophisticated, rich, full-bodied and relentlessly getting better with age. Earlier this week, I spoke to Madhuri about breaking Bollywood's glass ceiling, putting on the grease paint again, and why she misses her craft but not her stardom. Madhuri, I recall a time after Raja became a hit when you were labeled the female Amitabh Bachchan because you had pushed a weak film with a new hero into success. Now, Mr. Bachchan has sort of single-handedly carved a space for a 65-year-old leading man. Are you hoping to do the same for the 40-plus leading woman?
I don't know. You know, it all depends on the success and failures and, you know, a lot of other elements that go into it. But I would think that this would be a good attempt at doing something different, kind of conceiving a different kind of a role for someone like me. And I think that's what I liked about the script, the way they have woven the story. Age is not a consideration in that, you know, and it's the last thing you'll think about while watching the movie. And that's what is wonderful about my role as Diya.
You know, many years ago, Movie Magazine had done a special on women in the film industry. And you had said there that very often women are treated like second-class citizens. Do you find this still to be the truth?
Well, you know, with times, everything has to change. And today we are in an era where the woman has to go out and fend for herself, and she has to do so many things. She wears so many hats. So it's wonderful to see these changes.
So it has changed?
Yes, it has changed, definitely. And I think it's changed for the better. And somewhere that's going to reflect in our films too.
But is it frustrating for you, Madhuri, that your contemporaries are romancing 20 years, girls 20 years their junior, but
But that has always been a case.
It's not new.
You know, chauvinism is everywhere, whether it's in the movies or it's in the society, and at least this movie will be like at least a little chip in the, you know, chauvinism, a little bit of you know, getting at it kind of a thing.
Is there an added pressure because this film is not just a film, but it's also about whether a film of this kind with a heroine who's of a certain age can work?
Yes, you know, the pressure is from all sides because also, you know, I'm doing this movie after a gap of say 5 or 6 years, and that is also one of the pressures. But I think we worked with all our hearts. It's a very honest film, comes straight from the heart. It's about human relations. It's about art, which is, you know, the kind of dying art we have in India right now. It's like trying to go back to your roots, to your traditions, to your identity, which one is kind of starting to forget who you are and where you come from. So I think it's like a multi-layered kind of a film. So it has a lot to say through this, but we'll see whether the audience likes it or not.
You know, I don't know if this story is true or not, but I was told that when Karishma Kapoor shot her little sequence in the title song of Om Shanti Om, she actually had tears in her eyes because she missed the work so much. Have you, in these 5 years, ever had a moment of absolute longing for a studio?
Not absolute longing.
Never?
Because I was so busy with my kids. Over the 5 years, I had Aaron first, and then I had Ryan 2 years later. So you can imagine, you know, I was either pregnant or looking after the baby. And then I got pregnant again I was looking. So I was very, very busy. I had no time to miss anything. Also, I love children, and this was a part of a dream which I had for myself, that I'm going to have a family, I'm going to have kids. And so I was just living that. I was totally ecstatic with my kids, and I was, you know, in a euphoric kind of a stage at that time. So I don't think I missed it that much. But somewhere, once you get a chance to just sit back and you get a little time for yourself, that's when you miss it. You know, I miss my craft. I miss what I do. I miss acting, you know, dancing, being in front of a camera, trying to be a different character. You know, so that role playing, you kind of miss that a little bit. But it's not as if I was craving for, you know, craving to do something.
You missed the craft, but you never missed all the peripherals, the fame
Not the
and the
paraphernalia,
money and
because I was never a part of it.
No?
No, I used to do my work, I used to go home. So I enjoyed my time in front of the camera and what I did. But after that, once the lights were off and, once I was out of the studio, I was just like any other ordinary person. I just wanted to go home.
But you were never an ordinary person, Madhuri. You were always a huge star. I mean, perhaps with less, there was less sort of media at the time and less kind of chatter about films at the time. But you walked away. You chose to walk away from all the buzz around it. Was there any internal struggle at the time at all?
No, there wasn't. There was no doubt in my mind.
At all?
I always do stuff when there's no doubt in my mind. That's when I will do it. And when this happened, there was absolutely no doubt in my mind that I wanted to get married and this was the man for me, this was the person for me. So I think because there were no doubts, it was like, that's the thing to do,
Given the paucity of good roles here, for women of any age, what kind of work are you hoping to do?
My priorities are different right now. It's my kids, my family. I don't want anything interfering with that. And if I feel I can do it, without creating that interference and making everybody comfortable, then I will do something. But I'll take my time till then.
Finally, Madhuri, will you always hold out for a lead role, or will a sort of smaller character role work as well for you?
Well, when I played Chandramukhi, I don't think that was like a big lead role because she comes only after the interval. But I loved what Chandramukhi stood for, It was totally different to what people are today. It's hard to identify with such selfless love, where she doesn't expect anything back from him, but she gives him all the love she can. And I think that's what appealed to me about Chandramukhi, that longing, that waiting, And so that's what I did. But it's not as if I'm waiting for just lead roles or something, but something interesting to do in the movie.
So anything that's compelling for you?
Yes.
And doesn't interfere with everything else?
Yes. It's very difficult.
We hope you find lots of those roles, Madhuri. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hopefully, Bollywood will give Madhuri enough reasons to keep coming back to Mumbai. That's all for this week.